What's up? We're on the way to Muriwai right now. I'm gonna experience my first time surfing and then we're gonna do a Q&A session with Bren on the road. Yo, so where are we gonna be at, Brendan?
You guys will be out here, newbies, with the big blue floaty boards. When you get better, you'll be way out there. Pros.
Yeah, so we'll probably be out there with the pros sometime today. You guys ready?
Ready. I have to explain some stuff to you here.
What's up? All right, we are here at Muriwai Surf School, about to get our boards. Just me, Drew, and Kenny are surfing. Brendan's going to be doing a little bit of instructions in the background. See if we can get this first time stand up.
You're going to catch only broken waves, okay? You can't, if you try and catch an unbroken wave, you're going to get smoked. As soon as the wave hits, you're going to go 2 power pedals. So you're going to go 1, 2, like as strong as you can, and then you're going to pop.
Brendan's going to film me for my first wave. Watch this professional. Paddle, paddle, pop. That's it.
Alright, get on and start paddling. Get on, paddle, 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 paddle. Paddle, 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 paddle.
Alright, we've been trying for about 30 minutes now. It's way harder than I thought. My timing of getting caught in the wave. Getting caught in the wave and then trying to time it so you stand up at the right time. That's the hardest bit. Alright, let's do some more.
This one's huge. Go, paddle.
Alright, we're gonna swap with Brennan. We gotta at least see one person stand up today. Finished off and returned our surfboards. Unfortunately, GoPro ran out of battery. That was an awesome experience. We gotta get some food now and then we go for a bit of a hike. Definitely got my sodium intake for the day from all that salt water, so something not too salty would be perfect. All right, let's go. We're ready for the Q&A session. I got
Brendan, BrenOnTheRoad.com. What's up, guys?
Alright, so I've gone through Brendan's vlog, about 2 years worth, and then I picked out a couple of questions. I got a couple of questions of my own just to spice things up as well. Alright, first question, how long have you been traveling now?
I've been on the road about six and a half years.
Do you get tired?
Yeah, every day.
Is that like a rewarding tiring, or it's just like a, oh shit, I'm drained tiring?
It's both. One of the things in travel blogging is people don't really talk about the negatives in being a long-term traveler, and there's a lot. Okay, so there's, you know, you're away from your friends and family, you're trying to save as much money as possible, which means you're sleeping in really weird places, you're eating food that's not really the food that you want to eat, going through long bus rides, long train rides, so it's tiring. You get tired all the time, but I mean, if you love it, just like with anything that you love, you know, you gotta take the positives with the negatives.
Do you ever find yourself getting bored?
Sometimes if you're on the road and you don't have a plan, you know, it might be time to move on to a different country, you don't really know where you want to go. Maybe you're just too tired to move, so you might be stuck in a city and you just don't feel like doing anything that day, you've got no one to hang out with, so like loneliness and boredom, it's actually quite a big part of it. Actually, we don't really talk about that quite a lot, but it's a big percentage of your time on the road is spent being bored and lonely.
Man, Arisa Dama, you have asked some top questions here. I reckon this is probably the best one though. Have you found what you were looking for? Maybe you need to even take a minute to think about that one. I was like, shit, that's a deep question.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think anyone ever really finds what they're looking for, because what you want changes all the time. So when you start traveling, you know, you're thinking like, oh, I want to see all these places that everyone's been seeing, and then you might travel for a year, and you're thinking like, you know, like I'm kind of bored of this sightseeing thing, of this traveling thing. I want to like maybe do something to make a difference, you know. So you volunteer somewhere, or maybe you stay somewhere for a long time to study a language, or to do conservation work, or to teach or something, and then sort of that becomes not really too fulfilling anymore. You want to do something bigger. And so I think, especially with travel, because it's endless, you know, there's always somewhere else you can go, there's always something else you can do, and I think most people that you meet on the road, they're always going to be looking for something else, you know, like, oh, you know, I traveled for like 3 years, you know, and I backpacked all these countries, but now I want to do something that's maybe like something for charity, or I want to start my own business. And then after you've done that, you're thinking like, oh, now I really feel like I want to start a family. I haven't had a proper relationship in 5 years. And so it's always changing, and I think especially with travelers, because the possibilities are always endless. So to be honest, I don't think any of us ever find what we're looking for, as long as we always follow our hearts and do what we want to do in the moment. That's all we can do.
Did anyone inspire you to do this, or is it just something that you just felt like internally you just had to do?
Both. It's a combination of a few things. There's a guy, his name is Scott Harrison. I doubt he's ever going to watch this, but if he is, shout out for being an inspiration to me. But he was a guy who traveled the world a lot when he was younger. He was a nightclub promoter, so he was always partying in different countries and stuff. He went to, I believe it was Liberia. He used his skills as a nightclub promoter to start a charity called Charity Water. So I actually ran a campaign for them, a birthday campaign for them.
I remember that. I donated.
Yeah, I did. But I remember seeing the work that he was doing, and he was quite under the radar at that time. No one really knew about him, but I could see there was like so much passion in his work, and so he was so inspired. Every time he spoke about what he was doing, his eyes were like glowing, and I was like, that's something that I don't have in my life. You know, I come to my job and I'm just like, oh, like just how long until I get to go home? And then this guy was out there doing all these amazing things, and I was like, why can't I do that? And why can't I go out and see the world and change things and be a difference in people's lives? So he was a huge inspiration for me to not necessarily travel, but to stop what I was doing and think about doing something different, something that meant more to me. Another guy that inspired me, his name is Albert. Maybe he will see this. So Albert, I'm sure you already know the conversation I'm going to talk about here. This was just before, or just after I quit my job, and I was kind of lost. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, I knew I wanted to do something, but I wasn't sure if it was the right decision. I wasn't sure if, you know, I was making a mistake. And I just had a meeting with him about some other project, and he had kind of been a mentor to me. And I just said, hey Albert, can I just talk to you for a second? And I was almost tearing up, because I was like, I really needed direction. And he just said, like, the question that he said was, you know, all these problems, you're thinking about all of this the wrong way. There's only one question that you really need to ask yourself. And the question is, what do you want? And the answer to the question is going to change all the time, so you have to keep asking yourself that question. And then as long as you ask yourself that question and you answer it honestly, like if you can be real frank and honest and just answer it and believe it honestly, then you've got nothing to worry about, because you're doing what you want to do. And after I heard that, all the doubts about, you know, like my job and my relationship and what I wanted to do in life and my travels, it was all just like, you know, just what do I want to do? And that's what I wanted to do was go and see the world. So that was one of the big catalysts for me to just be like, alright, let's book a ticket and let's go.
This next article caused a lot of discussion even amongst our group. Brendan, you wrote an article, this is what's wrong with living in Auckland, yeah. And then Katie Bell, who summed it up real good, you know, like there's a lot of people who were kind of defending Auckland, saying it's the bomb. And then there were a lot of people that agreed with you as well. So I kind of wanted to get a little bit about your insight, like what made you feel like you needed to write this article?
Those of you that don't know, I'm from Auckland. That's my hometown. That's where I went to school. I grew up there. I lived there for the first 25 years of my life. That was one of the places I felt like, you know, I was allowed to say all the things that I was thinking. Because if you go to another place, you know, obviously when you're traveling, you see a lot of things that you think are wrong, and you're like, they shouldn't do things like this, and they just shouldn't do things like that. But if you've only been in the country for 1 or 2 months, it's not really your place to be like, you know, you guys need to do this differently, because you don't know the culture. You know, you didn't grow up there. You don't understand the whole context of why they do things. But Auckland, I do understand the context of why people do things. So when I wrote that article, it was kind of my way of telling the people of Auckland, like, we have so much potential to be a great city, but we're not doing that. There's things that Auckland has that a lot of cities would really love. You know, we have like a lot of beautiful nature, we have so many beaches, you know, everything's safe, it's well developed, but I felt like the people in Auckland, they don't appreciate it, you know, and there's no sense of like community here, and people don't, you know, try and bring each other up and support each other. So that article was just my way of trying to start the conversation of how we could make Auckland a better city, because I honestly think if we did things a little bit differently, this could really be one of the best cities in the world. It really could be one of the greatest cities on the planet. And we're not that far away. It's just that we've got to do a few things differently, change of mindset, change of culture, and this would be the city that people around the world are talking about.
Changing people was probably a little bit difficult though,
yeah,
so.
Exactly. It was, you know, that was the first step, you know, let's start the conversation and let's like get people in Auckland talking about, you know, what we can do better.
Right, so that was your way.
Exactly, yeah.
Brennan got a little bit, you know, deep into his Q&A, which is fantastic, but we're getting a little bit hungry right now, so we're off to Chikos. Found this place because it got really high ratings on Zomato, so let's try this place out. Food has arrived. I need to dig in because I'm starving on king salmon right here. Let's get a big bit of that salmon. Look at that. Oh, wow. That's really good. I actually taste all the citrus that's inside that salmon. That's amazing. Let's try some of these sides as well. This is pumpkin with a little bit of sesame. That's really good. Everything's got that hint of citrus flavor. Try some of this risotto. Oh man, this dish is delicious. Grab one of these cassava chips too. Never had cassava before, so first time. Yo, Bren, how's your dish?
I got fish of the day, which is snapper. We got pretty good snapper in New Zealand. I got risotto, which is delicious. I got snapper, which is delicious. And I got a cabbage and bacon thing, which is delicious. I only know delicious and not delicious. I'm not like Peter, you know. Everything's delicious on my plate.
I read a food thesaurus for this. Definitely coming back here, gonna bring you in here as well. All right, so we're wrapping up this Q&A session here at Cassava.
At Cassava?
Whoa. So Brennan, you've been traveling for a long time now. How do you maintain this lifestyle?
So this question gets asked me a lot. It's two things. First of all, there's like a misconception that I spend a lot of money traveling, and I don't. I spend so much less money traveling than I do living in New Zealand. If you want to know how I do that, I've got a lot of articles on my blog. I'll tell Peter to link to some of those.
Link down below.
People need to realize is that traveling long term is actually not an expensive thing. It's actually very cheap, it's very affordable if you have the right information and if you do it the right way. I've got a lot of free guides on my blog that will tell you guys that. And the second misconception is that I'm not working. Okay, so I actually do a lot of work while I'm traveling. I'm on the laptop pretty much every day. I freelance, I have a blog obviously that makes some money. I have a book, travel guide that I sell on my blog, and the website itself makes money through affiliates and through a small bit of advertising. I think you'll find that people that work while they're traveling, they have their hand in like a lot of different pots. You know, there's a lot of little income streams that come through, and because the lifestyle is not really that expensive, it's not really too hard to make ends meet. So if you're interested in that, just check out my info below, and you know, all your questions will be answered.
Yeah. Brennan, I want to thank you for coming on this vlog.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, so thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Hope to probably get you on here a little bit more when I, you know, can make this my full-time thing. But right now, it's hopefully just one video a week. That's what I'm going to be aiming for. If you guys like this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. Ring that bell icon if you guys get notifications for more great content just like this. Out.